Yeah, but sunny. And it's supposed to warm up to about 57, 58, something like that. So it promises to be sunny and cool, but nice.
Well,
But
we're
yeah,
supposed to freeze tonight.
the last 2 nights it was in the 30s. In fact, Friday night into Saturday morning, yesterday it was 29, 30, and some areas did get a dusting of snow.
Yeah, yeah. So I have to bring in all the plants that I put out last week.
Oh, wow.
Take them to the garage.
Yeah.
But yes, you're up there in Minnesota. It's a little bit colder there.
Soda. Well, aren't we kind of on the same, line as you guys? Wouldn't we be kind of in the same?
Yeah,
area?
you mean the same horizontal?
Yeah.
I think you're a little north, but I should check on that. Because I know Detroit and Boston is pretty similar. But,
Yeah. So we're kind of right across from Detroit, I think.
oh, okay. I always
Well,
think
no,
it's
Detroit might be a little more south. I think you're right.
okay.
Mhm.
I always think, when I think Minnesota, I do think Minneapolis, St. Paul, but then I spend some time up at the Boundary Water, so, way up north of Duluth.
Yes. Yes.
I know it's cold there.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes,
Why
welcome.
don't you welcome everybody?
Pardon?
88. It was 88 in Reno yesterday.
Gosh. I'm not sure. We have L, but I'm not sure.
Oh, it's Lorraine. I didn't sign in, I guess.
Oh, hello, Lorraine.
Hi,
Welcome.
Catherine.
Nice. I'm Lorraine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still in Florida. It's wonderful here.
I was going to ask if you made it back up here yet.
No, week from tomorrow I leave.
Ah, good. Good. It's nice to see your face.
It's nice to see you too.
Well, we may have a small gathering this morning. All of our women friends may be with their families and having breakfast. I'm not sure.
And some people, just listen and they don't click on their video, so that's fine. I think we're almost to the bottom of the hour. So
Yes.
when we hit 10:30, I've already started the recording because I can erase, the first minute or two. It's just to do it that way. But I'm going to mute everybody, and then you unmute your individual line when it's your turn to speak. And if you have any trouble with that, I can unmute you from here as well.
Do you
Russell,
want us
just
to unmute? You want us to unmute ourselves?
No, I'll unmute everybody. Yeah, sorry, Catherine. Yes. When it's your turn to speak, you would unmute yourself.
Okay. I've got it.
there's Jenny.
There's
Good morning, Jenny. Welcome.
Meg. It is 10:30, so you want to
Yeah.
get.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody, and then we will begin.
Did you-
Hi, Tom. All right, Megan or Brian, go ahead.
Okay, welcome everybody to our very special Mother's Day Coffee House. So great to be here with all of you. Many familiar faces and also ones that I don't get to see that often. So welcome everybody. Today is a very special day. We're celebrating the amazing, wonderful, beautiful, just simply our mothers. These people that bring us into the world. So this is a very special gathering today for all of us. And I just want to start off by sharing our mission. So at the Center for Functional Nutrition, our mission is to better people's lives and be a force for good in the world. And then our vision is to create a world that works better for everyone through the principles and practices of functional nutrition, which is a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world through the biological transformation of humanity. So we have an absolutely fantastic group of women that are going to share what they feel their mission and gifts to the world are. And it's just going to be fabulous. And thank you all for being here. So without further ado, I will pass it over to my mother, Megan. And I'm so grateful for you and just everything you've given me in my life. Thank you. So go for it.
Well, thank you, Brian. Yes, it is my pleasure, absolute pleasure and honor to be with all of you today. And I have invited a few women friends to share with us on Mother's Day on their vision and mission in their life. And I'm very much looking forward to this. They're going to share with us each about 5 minutes, and then we'll have our good news song and open it up to everybody and anybody else who would like to share. So please sit back and with your favorite beverage and help us all celebrate today together. So I think our first speaker is Catherine Taylor. And Catherine Taylor is a licensed counselor and author of the best-selling Inner Child Workbook. In her 40 years of practice, she has learned to masterfully weave together her expertise on the inner child. Her spiritual training is in accessing the Akashic records of your soul and the energy therapy of EFT, tapping to offer a revolutionary process she calls integrative tapping. This combination promotes healing through the fragile part who sabotages and your authentic self who is ready to step forward and live life motivated by faith rather than fear. For more information, please go to www.EFT4, that's F-O-R, yourinnerchild.com. Catherine, welcome, and I am very much looking forward to hearing your voice.
There. Well, thank you. I don't know if I have to say anything else. You kind of read in that my mission and my vision. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for inviting me onto this, because ever since I got the invitation, you know, your mind starts kind of thinking, well, what is my mission? What is my vision? I certainly know what it is for my work, and I certainly have followed that. But it took me all the way back to two of the really important women in my life, which was my grandmother Taylor and my own mother. And two events happened, or two moments, not events really, but moments happened. And the first one was when I was in 7th grade, and I got to invite my grandma Taylor in for the show and tell. And it was a big deal that I was able to bring her in, because at that point in her life, where to me she seemed ancient, you know, she was at the end of her life, and she brought in all these slides of all these places that she traveled, and there was just such a demeanor about her and such a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, and she was what we would in today's world call living the dream. And I just remember thinking, when I grow up, at first I thought it was 60, I later had to recalibrate to 70, but when I get that age, I want to be like her, you know. So I think that was the first time I realized there was life beyond the senior prom, you know, that there was a trajectory of things that was going to happen. And I think the next defining moment was when I was in college, and I was home probably for some vacation, and I remember my own mother and I were sitting at that table, and she looked at me and she said, well, what do you think you want to do with your life? And I was deep into studying the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs at that time. And I looked at her and I said, I want to be self-actualized. I don't know what that means, but I want to be self-actualized. And that was kind of the mission. So my grandma Taylor gave me the vision. And in that moment, I had the mission of how I wanted to pursue my life. And about maybe 5 years later, another defining moment that came again in a conversation with my mother was when I was trying to decide if the best course of my life was to actually get a divorce. And I remember in that conversation with Mom, I remember saying to her, I know that if I divorce Mel, that my life's going to go towards my profession and I'll probably never have children. And I was of that generation where we got to make decisions like that. And I think it was that moment that the mother within me to all the inner children, the people that I've worked with, was really born. And I've rethought that moment a lot because I never gave birth. And I also know on a soul level, there's been many lifetimes when I have. And often I say it's a moment that I often grieve, but I never regret. Because I know that my life trajectory this time around was to have all that oxytocin available so that I could sit with people and really help them connect with that fragile self within. And in order to do that, I had to take a little different course than my grandmother did. Her journey was to travel the world and to explore the external environment, to explore Mother Earth in that way. And mine has been a journey very much of the inner world and of really going to as many dimensions as possible. And that's been opened up even more in the last year and a half since my brother John passed away. But he didn't pass away. He's very active, and he made that very real to me in a dream where he came and said, I'm back and I'm ready to go forward. And he's been very much a part of my life and of expanding and breaking through that veil. And I think at this point in time, it's so important for us all to realize how thin that veil between the physical and non-physical worlds are. That we have that whole plethora of spiritual beings that are helping those of us who are showing up and really working our Dharma and working our vision and working our mission in whatever way we're chosen to do it, that we're not alone in this, that we're all have been called home, like that beautiful video, Brian, that you sent out. You know, it's unprecedented time where we've all been called home. And we all have the opportunity to ponder this question of what is our vision and what's our mission. And that's my thoughts since you asked me to join this.
Well, thank you, Catherine. And these defining moments are integral in our lives. And thank you for sharing those with us.
Thank you.
Next, I am going to share from a friend of ours. Her name is Madison Burgess. And at the last minute, Madison could not join us this morning, but she sent to me what she wanted to share. And so I will introduce Madison Burgess and be her voice this morning. And I hope I do that, articulate that well for her. So this is what Madison says in way of an introduction. I am a lover of life and enjoy being in nature. I have been blessed with a loving and supportive husband, a son who has created a good life, a daughter-in-law whose heart is filled with love and kindness, and our sweet little munchkin, Ariana, who is of strong mind, happy, and fills our heart with joy. And she sent a piece of writing. She does not know the author, but this is what she wanted to share. Modern womanhood is hard to define, but one can argue it is defined by struggles. Struggles against impossible beauty standards and Photoshop. The struggle of either wanting kids or choosing not to have them. And knowing that no matter what you choose, an overwhelming majority of someone is going to think you're wrong. Our bodies and our sexuality are a subject of controversy, caught in limbo between being revered as mysterious and beautiful and being renounced by society as unclean and an object not our own. But at the core of all that struggle, there is immense power. Women endure the pains of childbirth, the fear of assault, the climb towards greater career opportunities, and the constant back and forth of what it is to be a woman, and they do so with grace, dignity, and power. The mothers, the lovers, the executives, the free spirits, the warriors, we as women are powerful. We are survivors. All women have a message to share and needs to be heard, and this is my mission in life. from Madison Burgess. I have a friend who lives in New Hampshire